Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. James from Harshman Hills asked me about how I deal with blunt edges. And basically, I used to ignore it a fair bit and just get new rocks. I've got that much quartzite on hand here. I just discard my blunt stuff and get new ones, and then go from there. I've broke up that much rock that I can just discard it and then get it. But now I'm being a bit more frugal with it. I bought myself a bopper, and that's what I've been using. So I went stupid and bought the most expensive bopper I could find. Basically, this is apparently the best one on the market. So it's a solid copper bopper with a Delron handle. So really good one. Apparently it's the Cadillac of all boppers. So yeah, but you don't have to go to that expense. You can make them too, apparently. But I'm not much of a craftsman as far as that goes. I thought about trying to make one, and then the task seemed too daunting for me, so I didn't worry about it. Also learned I'm not much of a napper either. But the basic idea of it is, with napping, is, and this is where I suggest getting a cut glove, because your hands get bashed up really badly with this sort of thing. Put a cut glove on, blunt edge, pretty much along there, and I just go like that along there, and that basically drives a fracture line along there and gives you a sharp edge again to drive along. That wasn't a very good demonstration because that had a lot of soft stuff on the side there. But if you go onto a bit of rock that has a blunt edge on it, I'm having trouble finding them. Isn't the way, always the way. All of these have got good sharp edges. Say that was a blunt edge. All you do is drive, and that fractures a sharp edge again along there, and that will sharpen that edge up, and then you can drive sparks off it again. And that's as much as I do for sharpening my edges. And you can just swap it over again, do it one side and then swap it over and then do the other, and you'll find it will sharpen up the edges for it. That's why I like big flints or big rocks, because you can do that a lot of times and not, because every time you do that, you're basically reducing the size of your stones. And the other way is bipolar, what they call bipolar or polar. Yeah, bipolar, I think, is put it on a rock like that, put it there and hit it like that, and it'll break up. And that way you'll basically break the rock up, and because this stuff is really hard, it'll fracture into these really nice edges of stone that we use to drive sparks off. But that's how I do it. I am by no means an expert at this stuff as far as getting edges, but as far as napping and that goes, yeah, I'm only just, I sort of muddle through it. But I do find that way you just put the stone in there and just tap along the edge with this, with a bopper, or you can use a hammer stone too. I should have mentioned that. Hammer a stone like that and just go along the edge with it, or your striker. Another way, like if you've got a good heavy striker, you can. I wouldn't use the striker's edge, the strike plate. Use the back of your striker and just go along like that. sometimes that'll work as well. But probably best off making or getting a bopper, because they're specifically designed for it. The softer copper or brass, I think they're brass or copper. I think it's copper. It tends to grab hold of it and break really well. I've used a lot of hammers too for the bigger stuff, but you really mash the hell out of your hammers. This stuff is really hard and a lot harder than the steel. You will smash the hell out of your hammers, but that's all right. Buy a cheap hammer. Don't use good hammers. Buy a cheap hammer and just break. This is for breaking up the big stuff, and then going over to the smaller edges. You just use your bopper. This one works really well. It cost me a lot of money, but it works fantastic. Was well worth the money. Yeah, as you saw, it dropped that little, and this one here, this will be a really great, that's a fantastic little shard there. I don't like using those little ones. I can't, my big hands don't use them very well, but I can get sparks off it really well. Yeah, this is my preferred size, as I was saying before, because you can break it down further and get edges from it. The smaller you go, the harder it is to break it further down. That's why I've always advocated using bigger stones. The smaller stones are harder because once you get down to a small size, you can only break it half again, and then like that there, once that edge is gone, that's it. You basically on that edge, you can't use that again. You have to throw it away because yeah, that's it. It's over. But yeah, the bigger stones are a lot better for me, especially with my size hands. I like to be able to get a rock to be able to hold it. It's easier to manipulate than that. Well, I hope that helps. Anyway, that's why I always like playing around with flint or the harder stones, because their edges last longer. This quartzite stuff burns out really quick. My stuff does. Yeah, the edges degrade pretty fast. Yeah, but thankfully I've got so much of it, I don't have to really worry about it. As I said, I just discard it when it goes out. I don't really bop this stuff much because it's not really worth the effort of me bopping it. I do occasionally, but not that often. That's a nice stone, that one. I'll probably start using that one. Yeah, yeah, but I definitely do my flints. I've got a whole bucket back there of Aussie black and greys, and my green stuff here. I'll be bopping that stuff until there is nothing left of it, until it's down to at least that, because yeah, it's just not. It's too valuable a stone to be throwing away, and I keep the micro shards as well. You probably see me in my demonstrations. I go down to that size and use that size stone because yeah, it's just too valuable a stone to be throwing away, and yeah. But this quartzite stuff is it's everywhere, so I don't worry about it. I just discard it. And when this quartzite runs out, if it ever does, I doubt I'll probably be still using it when I'm 80. But if it ever does, I'll just throw it away into my backyard when it's no good anymore, because it's not a rubbish stone, but it's that type of stone. It's everywhere, so I'll just get more of it. I'll find somewhere where I can buy it, or not buy it, just grab a stone, like this size again, and break some more up, like that. That's the way it is. But anyway, that's how I deal with blunt stones, and yeah, it's just that simple method of yeah, just there and then just go along the edge, and you'll find this bopper. It won't take much, and you'll pick it up pretty quick as far as it goes with that, and then swap it over, and then work the other edge, because this stuff tends to fracture in those conchoidal fractures very, very well, because of how hard it is, and the fracture points, and you'll see with you'll see it. It'll come up very quickly, how it does, and just work the edges because you'll see it as you go. Anyway, thanks for watching.